Today we're taking a look at a multi-USB charger that not only can keep 7 of your USB-based devices juiced up, but also helps keep them organized. Hey everybody, welcome to PC Perspective. I'm Ryan Schrout. Today we have on the testing block, on the table, on the desk, I don't know, this is the Skiva Powerflow 7 stand charger with smart detection. That's a long name to describe essentially what is a multi-USB charging hub or device. So what we have here is that stand charger, and what's unique about it, there's a couple of things. One is that this is an all plastic construction. You can see that there's no power cable kind of directly coming into it. This is power only for charging. There's no data connectivity for the USB devices here. You have room for 7 individual USB connections, so you can charge 7 devices at the same time. Each port is rated at up to 2.4 amps for a total of about 85 watts, and it can distribute that the whole time. So all of these ports will have access to the full 2.4 amps at any given time. The device here itself is relatively kind of cheap feeling. It's just kind of a plastic. It's got a piano finish, so it's going to get fingerprinty and smudgy. The dividers here that we'll talk about in a second are made out of plastic. They're translucent, you know, made to look like glass, but again, for a lower cost price point there. There is a power button here that allows you to turn on and off all of the ports at once if you want to do something like that. And then also kind of interesting is between these plastic dividers is a little bit of a rubber texture on both sides that will help keep your tablets and smartphones in place. We'll talk about that in a second. It does obviously require an external power brick because you are providing up to 85 watts of power. This is a 90 watt AC power adapter that plugs into the far right hand side of the device, and then you try to find a place to hide this out of the way. So the idea here is actually pretty simple. You've got room for up to 7 different devices that can be neatly organized. For example, if you have something like your smartphone, you set it in there and you can kind of rest it in there like that. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take a quick cut here, hook up, populate all of these outlets and kind of show you and talk to you about the experience of actually using the stand charger. So here you go. We have populated the Skiva Powerflow 7 stand charger with 7 different devices. We've got 2 iPads, 2 Android tablets, and 3 Android smartphones all plugged in here. And it works really well. This you can see here, if you look at it from this angle, it kind of keeps all the devices separated. So if you want to grab one real quick, it's easy to do so. There are a couple of, there's not really issues with the device, but complications that arise, right? As you look around here, we're using basically most of the cables that would have come with or almost come with these devices. And you get this kind of mess and cacophony and rat's nest of cables that extend out here. And because all these devices are so close together, you're going to run into issues, right? If I want to disconnect this one and then use it and then come back, I'm going to have to find the right cable and fish it through, and eventually you're going to get some tangles and some complications there. One way to get around that is with another one of these kind of cable accessories that Skiva sells as well. I believe this is just called the USB 2-in-1 cable with Lightning and micro USB. Very descriptive. And what we have here, this is actually plugging into our iPad in the back, is a very, very short cable that has a USB connection on one side, and then it has Lightning connector as well as micro USB, and it's really just that simple. It's kind of an adapter for that. And that lets you, again, this is power only, no data. And if you can clearly see that if you have this, it's a much neater, cleaner, more easily organized system of charging multiple devices. Now, the problem is this, is these cables don't come with the stand charger. The stand charger itself retails for $65 on Amazon. It's a little steep for what it is in terms of construction and build. It's all plastic device, and it's kind of a low rent AC adapter by most accounts. And you can find different 6-port, 6-port USB chargers, multi-USB chargers for like $39 to $45 or so on Amazon. So this is definitely more expensive, but this does have the added benefit of the kind of slotted organization system. Now these cables, these 2-in-1 cables from Skiva sell for about $10 a piece. That's pretty steep. They're incredibly handy, and you can see that having 7 of these attached to the device as opposed to, you know, all that mess is going to make a pretty big difference in the usefulness and functionality of the device. There are alternatives. Amazon Basics sells some cables like this that are like $7. And if you are comfortable with short cables that don't have adapters, but you know that you want, 5 micro USB and 2 lightning cables, you can go over to like Monoprice and they have them for like 1.5 footers for less than $1, or shorter ones like this for like $2 or $3. So if you look, you can find short cables that help the organization system for a little bit less, or quite a bit less really, than the $10 that they charge for this. So is this useful for most people? You might think, I don't need to charge 7 different devices. If you live in a household with multiple people, chances are you could get away with this already. My wife and I, for example, we each have a tablet, we each have a smartphone, and sometimes we have company over that, they need to charge their phone as well. So you're going to see 5, 6 devices could easily stack up. If you have friends and family over fairly frequently, that could be a big advantage. For us here at PC Perspective, we're going to use this mainly for, hey, we need to keep all of those things we use for testing and reviews fully charged all the time, right? And though this is going to be a much cleaner way to do it, although we're probably going to invest in some of those shorter cable outlets. So, that's pretty much it. That's the Skiva Powerflow 7 stand charge. It's a $65 device that you could easily add another $60-something into with cable accessories if you are really keen on keeping keep it the most organized possible. This is useful for not just home users, but if you're a business user, if you guys have lots of tablets, schools could use something like this. This is actually a really neat kind of a device for this. $65 on Amazon, available today. It charges things, guys, and it seems to work really well. We can charge all of these at 2.4 amps with the single power connection, and that is a plus if you have lots of devices that need that juice all the time. Thanks, guys. See you next time.